A password of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in 2025, supposedly protecting 64 million people's personal information. McDonald's just handed every UK SMB a masterclass in how vendor incompetence destroys lives.
He's the guy with the plan for your online life. Keeps your data safe, cuts through the strife. Small biz owners, yeah, this is your guide. Cyber threats, beware, no place to hide. The small business cybersecurity guy, guarding your world with a sharp eagle eye. Tips and tricks to keep your systems tight. Stay secure, stay strong in the digital fight.
Some security researchers got curious about Mickey D's dystopian AI hiring bot, spent 30 minutes guessing obvious passwords, and suddenly had access to every job application ever submitted to the Golden Arches. We're talking names, phone numbers, chat logs, the works. While McDonald's and their AI vendor, Paradox.ai, play hot potato with blame, 64 million desperate job seekers discover their data was protected by SuperSized digital tissue paper. All right, let's get stuck in. So as the whole team are available today, I thought we could do a quick out-of-sequence special bonus episode. So joining me today, as always, is my spooky co-host, Moven McLeod, as well as Oliver Sterling, who has been at the sharp end of cybersecurity for almost as long as me, an AI expert and cybersec researcher extraordinaire, Dr. Sarah Chen. Sarah, you've been following this, right?
Noel, I have, and honestly, it's a textbook case of what happens when you bolt on shiny AI features but forget the basics. The researchers, Ian Carroll and Sam Curry, found the admin login page, tried 123456 as the password, and they were in. No multi-factor authentication, no proper access controls, and to top it off, there was an IDOR vulnerability. That's where you can just change a number in the URL and see someone else's data. It's the sort of thing we warn about in first-year computer science, never mind in production systems handling millions of records.
It's almost comical, isn't it? You'd expect a company the size of McDonald's to have, I don't know, at least a password policy that doesn't allow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But here we are. And the AI angle, everyone's so keen to automate. But they forget that if you don't lock the back door, it doesn't matter how clever your chatbot is.
It's the old move fast and break things mindset, but now it's people's personal data on the line. Sarah, you mentioned the IDOR flaw. How common is that really? I mean, are we seeing this a lot in these new AI platforms?
More than you'd think, Morven. The research shows that as companies rush to deploy AI, they often skip foundational security checks. There's this assumption that if the AI is clever, the system must be secure. But the evidence says otherwise. I nearly missed a keynote once because a vendor's access system was so poorly secured. Same story, weak passwords, no MFA. It's not just McDonald's, it's everywhere. And the risk isn't just data loss. It's the potential for targeted phishing, payroll fraud, all sorts. The basics matter, and they're being ignored.
And let's not forget Paradox.ai. The vendor claimed the account was a dormant test account from 2019. But if it's still live in 2025, that's not dormant, that's just lazy. They fixed it after the fact, but only because someone poked them. It's the same old story. Nobody cares until it's on the front page.
And then they launch a bug bounty program, as if that's going to fix the culture. It's like putting a sticky plaster on a broken leg. The lesson here is, if you're building anything with customer data, AI or not, start with the boring stuff, passwords, MFA, and don't leave test accounts lying around for half a decade.
It's a good reminder for small businesses too. You don't need £1 million budget to avoid these mistakes. Just don't use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for a start. And if you're buying in tech, ask your vendor what their password policy is. If they can't answer, run a mile.
Right, let's move from digital daftness to good old-fashioned phone scams. M&S and Co-op, two of the UK's biggest retailers, taken down by a phone call. Not malware, not some Russian APT, just a criminal with a bit of confidence and a phone. 300 million lost at M&S, 20 million records at Co-op. All because help desk staff reset passwords for someone who sounded convincing. I mean, I've seen this before. but not at this scale.
It's wild, isn't it? The attackers just rang up, pretended to be staff, and got admin passwords reset. No callback checks, no escalation, nothing. And the help desk was run by Tata Consultancy Services, so it wasn't even M&S staff. It's a classic case of vendor risk biting you where it hurts. The pressure to solve problems quickly, I get it, but you can't skip the basics. A simple callback to a registered number would have stopped the whole thing.
It's almost theatrical, the way it played out. The attackers even gave interviews to the BBC while they were still inside co-op systems. That's not just a technical failure, that's a complete collapse of process and culture. And the so-called security questions were things you could find on LinkedIn. It's like locking your front door and leaving the key under the mat with a note saying, "For emergencies."
I had a client once who swore blind their admin password was password because nobody would guess something so obvious. They got hit by a similar scam, locked out for days, cost them a fortune in lost business, and more importantly, a chunk of their reputation. It's always the same. People think it won't happen to them until it does, and then it's panic stations.
The research backs this up, Noel. Social engineering is still the most effective attack vector because it exploits human nature, not technology. The attackers created urgency, targeted help desk staff during busy periods, and relied on the fact that most organizations don't train for this. The literature suggests that regular, scenario-based training and proper escalation procedures are the best defenses, but they're rarely implemented. And vendor management, well, that's a whole other can of worms. If your supplier's security is weak, so is yours.
And the fallout was massive. 46 days of online sales gone at M&S, warehouses shut, shelves empty. All because nobody thought to double-check a phone call. It's a wake-up call for every business, big or small. If you don't have proper help desk procedures, you're just waiting for your turn in the headlines.
And the government's looking at mandatory breach reporting now, so you can't just sweep it under the rug. If you're not ready, you'll be explaining yourself to regulators and the public. Not a fun day out, I'd imagine. Let's broaden it out a bit. It's not just the UK, and it's not just retail. AT&T, Change Healthcare, 23andMe, massive breaches, all with the same theme. Basic controls ignored, vendors not properly managed, and customers left in the dark for months. AT&T had 73 million accounts leaked, and they didn't even know if it was their systems or a vendor's. The breach happened years before anyone noticed. That's not just bad luck, that's systemic complacency.
And Change Healthcare, ransomware, took down their payment systems. Hospitals couldn't process claims, and they ended up paying a $22 million ransom. But even after paying, they didn't get all their data back. Why? No multi-factor authentication on critical systems. It's the same lesson, over and over. If you don't do the basics, you're just waiting for disaster.
The 23andMe breach is another good example. Credential stuffing, using passwords leaked from other sites, let attackers access millions of genetic profiles. The company delayed notifying customers, and the lawsuits are still piling up. The research shows that timely disclosure and customer notification are critical, not just for compliance, but for trust. And yet, organizations keep dragging their feet, hoping it'll blow over.
It's the same gap I see every week. Everyone knows what they should do, patch, use MFA, train staff, but it doesn't get done. I worked with a local charity in Glasgow, lovely folk, but they lost donor data because they never got round to updating their systems. The aftermath was brutal, lost funding, angry supporters, and a lot of sleepless nights. It's not about budget, it's about priorities and follow-through.
And let's be honest, most small businesses are in the same boat. They know the basics, but there's always something more urgent until it's too late. If you take one thing from today, it's this. Do the boring stuff. Patch your systems. Use strong passwords. Enable MFA. And don't trust your vendors to care more about your business than you do, because they won't.
Well said, Noel. And if you're listening and thinking, that'll never happen to us, just remember, every company we've talked about today thought the same. Until it did.
I'll keep tracking the research and sharing what we find, but the message doesn't change. Foundational security works. It's not glamorous, but it's what keeps you out of the headlines. And if you're not sure where to start, ask for help. There's no shame in it. And if you need a nudge, just picture your boardroom explaining to MPs why you lost millions to a phone call. That should do it.
All right, that's us for today. Thanks, Sarah, for the research reality check. And cheers to Moven and Oliver for keeping it honest. We'll be back soon with more war stories and hopefully fewer disasters to dissect. Stay safe, patch your stuff, and don't use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See you next time.
Thanks all, always a pleasure. I'll send over that paper I mentioned, and I'll see you next time.
Cheers, everyone. Don't do anything daft till we're back.
Goodbye, folks. And remember, if your password's a password, change it now. Hurrah!
Thank you for tuning in today. We've shared the tools to keep threats away. Stay sharp, stay smart, protect your gear. The small biz cyber guy is always near. Click subscribe and join the ride. Together we'll shield the digital tide. Your business is strong when your data secure. The small biz cyber guy, here to ensure. From firewalls to password might, we got your back day and night. For questions or tips, don't hesitate. This cyber crew is first rate. So keep your systems locked up tight. Back them up and sleep at night. Small steps make a difference big. Protect your dreams with a clever ring. Click subscribe and join the ride. Together we'll shield the digital tide. Your business is strong when your data's secure. The small biz cyber guy, here to ensure. Thanks for listening, we're signing off. Stay cyber safe no matter the cost. The small biz cyber guy says goodbye. Until next time, keep your data high.
All opinions expressed are those of the contributors and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organisation. This content is provided for informational purposes and is not a substitute for professional advice. Any sponsored content or paid partnerships will be disclosed. We comply with UK data protection laws. See our website for our complete disclaimer and privacy policy. This has been a Small Business Cybersecurity Guide production. All rights reserved.